This is a good time to mention a web control feature that allows you to launch the microblock pop-up for any value, anywhere that value is displayed within web control, simply by holding down the control key while clicking that value. However, since we will be checking out multiple properties on the air handler, we will use the AHU logic page to make our changes. First, let's auto-hide the navigation pane so that we can see all of the logic without using the scroll bars. Next, we want to manually override the unit on. First, we will lock the output to locked, and then change the locked state to on. We want to check out each component control loop. Let's scroll down to the static pressure section control section, and let's check the VFD output and verify that it is at least at the minimum position to enable the fan status. Here we see our output is 47. Our minimum percentage is 30. If we scroll back up to the fan status, you will see our fan is on. Once we have fan status, the fan will control to its static pressure set point. Now, let's override the VFD and economizer control loop inputs to different values and see if the static pressure responds accordingly. We've locked our VFD output. Now let's lock our economizer. Now let's scroll back to the static pressure control section to see if the static pressure has changed. The static pressure, which was at 1.46, is now 1.49. Before we continue to check out other control loops, let's turn off the manual overrides for the VFD output and economizer loops. Next, we want to locate the chilled water valve and manually override it to the on position. We then want to stroke the valve from 0% to 100% and watch the control logic to see if it responds accordingly. Once we have verified that the logic is operating properly, we will turn the valve override off. Other checks to make on the logic page include making a quick overview of the overall sequence of operation to verify that the equipment is controlling and responding accordingly, as well as to check the equipment's response to its safeties. For example, you would want to manually override the freeze stat on to see that the equipment responds on the logic pages based upon the sequence of operation. In this case, you will notice that when the FreeStat alarm is activated, the equipment will begin to shut down. You will see the VFD output is at 0 and the chilled water valve has changed to 50 for its emergency freeze protection. After you have checked all of the safeties, be sure that all of the control logic and overrides are unlocked before releasing the control program to automatic control. When your network is up and running, be sure to check all network input and output point links, such as your outside air, to verify that the values are coming from the correct places. You can easily check this by selecting the specific points and looking for communication errors on the Details tab. Here you see we have no error. If the equipment's control program differs from the sequence of operations or certain properties are incorrect, changes can be made in Icon for Web Control. See the Advanced Topics for details on making these changes.